The wisdom of Anansi, a mythic tale of the spider, the weaver of tales. Long ago, before the age of kings and empires, when the earth was still young and the sky was close enough to touch, there lived a creature unlike any other, cleverer than the eagle, more cunning than the fox, and more unpredictable than the wind. His name was Anansi, the spider. Anansi was no ordinary spider. He walked with the wisdom of ages, spun webs of secrets, and danced with fate itself. He was a trickster, a teacher, a fool, and a sage. In every tale, he wore a different mask, yet in all, he remained himself, an eternal symbol of wit over strength, of knowledge over brute force. But there was a time, long before he became the keeper of all stories, when Anansi was merely a dreamer with a bold heart and a hunger for stories. The empty world of stories. The world was silent, birds sang their songs. Rivers whispered to the stones. Trees swayed and murmured secrets to the wind. But there were no stories. No legends. No laughter around fire circles. The people toiled, they lived, they died, but they did not remember, for all the stories belonged to Niam, the sky god, who kept them locked in a golden chest atop the highest heavens. Anansi, small though he was, gazed up from his web and grew restless. This is no way for the world to be, he muttered. A world without stories is like a drum with no rhythm, a pot with no stew. It is empty. His many eyes twinkled with mischief and longing. I must have them, he said. I must bring stories down to the earth. His wife, also, wise and graceful, watched him from the shadows. Do not challenge Niam, she warned. He is the god of the sky. He does not give away treasures for free. Anansi only smiled. Then I will not ask him to give. I will ask him to trade. And with that, he began to weave his first great plan. The climb to the sky. Anansi spun a web so fine and strong it shimmered like silver threads in the morning sun. It stretched from the tallest baobab tree all the way to the heavens. The villagers gathered to watch, whispering among themselves. Some laughed, others prayed, but none could look away. With nimble legs and a heart full of courage, Anansi began to climb. The sky above was not as close as it once was, but Anansi climbed with purpose. For 7 days and 7 nights, he climbed, resting only when the stars blinked wearily and the moon tucked itself behind clouds. At last, he reached the gates of Niam's palace, a place of pure gold and woven clouds. The guards, tall beings of wind and lightning, crossed their spears. What business has a spider in the realm of gods? One thundered. Anansi stood tall, though he was small. I come to speak to Niam. I come to trade for the stories. The guards laughed, the sky crackled, but they let him pass, if only to see what folly he would speak. The price of stories. Niam sat upon his throne of rainbows and thunderclouds. His eyes, deep as the cosmos, watched the spider with mild curiosity. You? Niam said, voice like rolling storm. You wish to buy the stories? Anansi bowed low. Yes, mighty one. The world below hungers for tales. Let them know joy. Let them know sorrow. Let them remember. Niam stroked his beard of stars. The stories are my treasure. But I am a god of challenge. If you bring me 3 creatures I cannot catch myself, the stories shall be yours. Anansi's legs twitched. Which creatures? Niam raised 3 fingers. First, Onini the python, as long as a river. Second, Osibo the leopard, with teeth like ivory spears. Third, Maboro the hornets, who fly in furious swarms. If you bring me all 3, in chains of your own making, I will give you the box of stories. Anansi bowed again. I accept. And down he went, spinning his web back to the world, where his greatest trials awaited. the trick of the python. Back on Earth, Anansi gathered his children and his wife Oso to catch Onini the python. Oso mused, "You must know what he values most." "His pride," Anansi replied, smiling. "Let's use it." They took a long bamboo pole and walked to the riverbank where Onini basked in the sun. "Great Onini," Anansi said, loud enough for all to hear, "my wife says you are shorter than this pole. But I say you are longer." Onini's eyes glinted. "I am longer." "Prove it." The python slithered beside the pole. Anansi nodded. "You must stretch out fully, or we can't be sure." Onini obliged. "Now hold still," Anansi said, wrapping vines around the python to mark the measure. But he tied knot after knot until Onini could not move. "I must take you to Niam," Anansi said cheerfully. "The first story is almost mine." The cage of the leopard. Osibo the leopard prowled the night, feared by all. His eyes glowed like fire, and no trap could hold him. But Anansi had a plan. He dug a deep pit in the jungle and covered it with leaves and twigs. Then he sprinkled blood, goat's blood, sweet to the leopard's nose, around the edges. That night, Osibo came sniffing. One step, crack. He fell in. Morning came, and Anansi approached the pit. "Osibo," Anansi said, peering down. "Such a mighty hunter. You've been caught by a simple spider's trap." Osibo snarled. "Let me help you out," Anansi offered. "I will tie this vine to your paws and pull you up." Desperate, Osibo aged. But once the vine wrapped around him, Anansi hoisted him up, and tied the vine tight around a tree. "Two down," Anansi whispered. "One to go." The wrath of the hornets. The Maboro hornets were fierce. A single sting felt like fire. A swarm could chase elephants from the plains. They lived in the tallest tree in the savannah. Anansi climbed the tree with a calabash of water and another of honey. He poured the water over himself and shouted, "Rain is coming. The river is flooding." The hornets buzzed in confusion. "Quick!" Anansi cried. "This calabash is dry. It will keep you safe." One by one, the hornets flew in, seeking shelter. Anansi corked the gourd and smiled. He danced down the tree. 3 caught, none harmed. Let the stories be mine. The sky god's reward. Once more, Anansi climbed to the heavens. This time, he carried Onini in vines, Osibo in ropes, and Maboro in the calabash. Niam watched in silence as Anansi laid the 3 before him. Niam said. "You have done what no man, no beast, no god has done. You have caught pride, ferocity, and wrath, with wit, not war." He opened the golden chest. Stories leapt out, birds of fire, fish of light, songs of the deep forest. "As promised," Niam said, "they are yours. Share them. Shape them. Let them live." The first story on Earth. When Anansi returned, he called all the villagers together. They sat beneath the moon, beside a fire that crackled with excitement. "The world is changing," he said. "Let me tell you how the tortoise learned to fly. Let me tell you why the moon follows the sun. Let me tell you of lions who cry, and children who walk among spirits." He told stories all night, and the people wept, laughed, and remembered, and from that night forward, Anansi became the keeper of stories, the first griot, the eternal weaver of tales. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button for more.